Richard Kemp. Richard, good morning. How are you, sir?
Good morning. I'm very well, sir. Thank you.
Happy New Year. I'm hoping, I don't know, that you will back up what other people have said. Nobody that I've ever met in the army would prance around the place saying, oh, I killed this many people. Has he not? I don't know whether he meant to or not. Put a target, Richard, on his own back, for God's sake.
I think you might get the odd drunken soldier making that sort of claim down the pub, but probably those who hadn't actually been in action anyway. But apart from that, no, I think soldiers, generally speaking, if they do kill people or wound people in battle, they discuss it among their own, in other words, in private, but very rarely do they sort of proclaim it from the rooftop. So I think many people that I've spoken to, former soldiers, etc., regard this as being a little bit distasteful.
Well,
I think even worse.
That's interesting.
Go on.
No, go on.
I was going to say, even worse is the way he characterises the British Army as having trained him and his comrades to see the Taliban as being less than human, as just being pawns to be brushed off the chessboard, which is actually quite insulting, I think, to the British Army, and also is the opposite of the truth.
It's very interesting. A lot was made of when he was, he had certain roles taken away and he wasn't able to use his military uniform, and apparently the military was all important to him, Richard. But again, it seems, for sensationalism, for bang to go for his buck, he has, made these military accusations. And it's interesting to hear you say that a lot, and we've got that feeling this morning from a lot of people, that you don't do that, but also it's left a bit of a bad taste. Do you agree with the people who say that he's also put a target on his back?
Yeah, I think he has. He's already under threat, of course, a high-profile figure who's fought against Taliban in Afghanistan is already under threat. We know that, and he's made a great deal about the lack of security he has and the security he needs, even to the extent of taking legal action against the Home Office. So that threat is already there. But I think, it was 10 years ago. Memories do fade among jihadists, and it may be that it was diminished.
Well, I would only say to you, Richard, somebody sent me a message just now, which is very interesting. Salman Rushdie wrote a book. They waited 9 years or 10 years or 15 years or whatever it was. I mean, for a prince of this country to say those things militarily, I think is a massive, massive mistake. From a personal point of view, not a military point of view, what did you make of it? When you hear it, are you disgusted? Do you feel sorry for him? What's your personal view?
No, I wasn't disgusted. I just feel that it's misjudged, and both in terms of actually announcing that you've killed 25 people, gratuitously announcing that. No one asked him the question, as far as I know.
No.
And secondly, effectively accusing the army of just being a sort of almost a uncaring killing machine that doesn't really see its enemy as being human beings. I think that is very bad judgment. It's not the truth, and it doesn't do him any good. He had a very strong reputation in the British Army and the wider public for his courage in Afghanistan, and also for his championing of veterans, including the Invictus Games. But this I don't think that that you can't take away from what he did.
No.
But this does actually, I think, tarnish that reputation to an extent, and he will be looked at now, I think, in a different light by many serving soldiers and veterans.
I completely agree with you. And Richard, thank you. I know we've been rushing around doing all sorts of stuff this morning, but delighted that you could join us. Colonel Richard Kemp, former